Hey there, gang. Time for another comic book unboxing video, and this time out we have got a little bit of a treat. These books that you are looking at here are not just all Golden Age books. They are all books from one single title. This is probably, well, there's no probably about it. This is, in fact, the single longest run I have ever seen of Tip Top Comics. So, what is Tip Top Comics? Well, if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to answer that question. By gory, we're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghalla. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video. So, you know how this works. I am grading these books for sale on eBay. The seller name is .com Comics. And so please do like, share, subscribe, comment away, do all the groovy things. And right now, we're going to have some fun looking at some cool old comic books. And we are going to, I think, pretty much flash through these books. Get it? Because, I mean, a lot of these are Nancy covers. And, you know, it's like, well, so what? You know, a lot of you may not be that into Nancy. There's also, here, if we take a look at the top stack here, the top book, there's also a lot of Little Abner. So, or Little Abner, not little, just little, it's hard to say. The important thing about Tip Top Comics, though, is this was the sixth ongoing comic book series, launched in April of 1936, I think, and it ran into the 50s, into the early 50s. In the later issues, somewhere around issue 173, I think. I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong, if it's a different number. But right around that period, this title has featured the earliest appearances of the Peanuts, Charlie Brown and Snoopy and all the gang in comic books. Originally strip reprints, and then later on some original stories as well. We don't actually have any of those in this stack. They're quite valuable if you do come across them. So, you know, be on the lookout for that if you ever do see one of these Tip Top Comics and you're tempted to just, well, I don't like Nancy and you know, toss it away. But, yeah, this run stops a little bit before that, but it's pretty cool. These have some real historical significance, even if you're not into Little Abner. But this is number 86. Here's number 84, Ernie Bushmiller's Nancy, with Fritzi Ritz, and it's Fritzi's boyfriend. I forget his name. But Fritzi Ritz had her own comic strip, and at some point, Ernie Bushmiller brought in her niece, Nancy, to kind of liven things up, and she eventually took over the whole dang thing. Here's some more Little Abner. These are pretty neat books, and I got to tell you, they're in great shape. Now, because of, you know, age and, you know, loss of cover luster and, you know, general degradation of the paper quality, these will probably top out at around a 6, maybe 6.5. There might be some 7s in here. But that is really extraordinary for when you consider these books are late 30s. I think some of what we're going to look at will predate Superman. Here is the Katzenjammer Kids, number 81. Now, Tip Top was published by United Feature Syndicate, and so it reprinted the comic strips from United Feature. I'm not sure if, does it say here? I'm not sure if United Feature had the Katzenjammer Kids or Captain and the Kids. And it was a very, very popular comic strip in its day by Rudolph Dirks. And it was subject to a pretty big deal lawsuit where Dirks got hired away from, and I forget if it's Pulitzer or Hearst, which one originated the Katzenjammer Kids. He got hired away. And the result of the lawsuit was that the original group, again, whether it was Pulitzer or Hearst, I'm not sure which, got to keep the comic strip and the title, Katzenjammer Kids, with a new artist, whereas Dirks got to soldier on using the same characters because he had created them, but had to rename the strip, and so he called it Captain and the Kids, this being the captain. And so I forget, I'll have to look it up and, again, pop it on the screen. Rather, what is appearing here in Tip Top is Rudolph Dirks' Captain and the Kids, or if this is the Katzenjammer Kids. Here is number 80, and there's some more Katzenjammer. Here's upside down. This rest of the stack probably upside down. Here's Nancy. How to iron clothes. Oh no, Nancy. You have screwed that up. And this is funny too, because look, I mean, oh, I guess it is plugged in. I was going to say this looked like just an iron that you would heat up and then use it to press your clothes, but it does look like an early electric one. You know, a lot of these old comics are cool just because you get a real sense of not just the design ethic of the day, but, you know, just simple things. I mean, you're not going to find any cell phones in here, and probably remarkably few telephones. But anyway, here's some more Little Abner. That's issue 78. Back to the Kids with issue 77. Little Abner. Some copies of this series, the cover feature was Tarzan, and there's some Tarzan inside as well. But I don't think this run we have here is going to have any Tarzan covers. I think if we had those, they might have gone off to CGC. But, you know, these types of books historically do not do well for us on eBay, and they don't do well getting them certified either. And you know, because when we certify books, send them to CGC, those get auctioned off at a site called Comic Link, which is also located here in Maine, although they are a third-party outfit. But yeah, I don't know that even though these are in pretty nice shape, and I've just kind of stopped calling out the issue numbers because you can see them well enough yourself. I don't think that these are really worth certifying. Lately, we've been we used to have like $100 limit. You know, anything that we thought would be worth $100 or more, we would send to CGC. Anything less than that was done on eBay, either in single book or multi-book lots. We've kind of upped that lately to like 200, partly because of just the time it takes to get a book back from CGC lately. I mean, it's like a 6, 7, 8, 9 month wait. I tried to tell the boss that we should start our own grading service, but nobody listens to what I say. But these are just, gosh, these are neat. They're just really, really neat, I think. Little Abner. And it's hard today to realize what a kind of a big deal in pop culture Little Abner was. And Nancy as well. Nancy was kind of the it girl. She was basically Shirley Temple on crack. Oh, here's a famous kissing booth trope. So that's cool. Some more Captain, 71. 70, that's a pretty early issue here. When we get down towards the end, maybe I'll pull one of these out of the bag and we'll take a look inside, get an idea what the inside of one of these look like. Number 68. 67. 66. I think after United Feature got out of the comic book business in the mid-50s, right around the time of the great 10-cent plague scare, which is funny because they did all really super wholesome books, but they kind of went under right about the same time the Comic Code Authority was coming into existence because of the excesses in horror and crime. But maybe they just saw the writing on the wall and realized, well, that's the kind of things the audience wanted. But United Feature bowed out, and the title carried on with St. John Publishing for a short while. So it did go a bit beyond 1954. These later issues, I don't believe these have been trimmed. These are just skinnier. And the Marvel comics, the Golden Age Marvel comics, a lot of those are skinnier than your standard comic book format. And that was all just a part of trying to save money, just as the publishers reduced the page count over the years from 64 pages down to 32, step by step, which was all, an attempt to keep the cover price at 10 cents. So you just give less. Well, it's kind of like what we're experiencing now. You go to the grocery store and a lot of the things, even if you're paying the same for them, it's a smaller package. And so this basically was kind of the same thing. But there were also other ways to avoid production costs, or to reduce them, and one was to kind of shrink up the book a bit. Caw caw. Number 121. 120. Nancy, how dare you? Oh, she thinks it's Nancy, but Nancy's getting Sluggo there. More little Abner. More Captain the Kids. It looks like it's all little Abner, Captain, or Nancy. Here's some Love and Bloom. Everybody's lovesick except for little Abner. Little Abner didn't have time for love. This might be a Harvey book. Maybe this is where they got the idea for Little Dot. Yeah, some creative carving of the tree here. Oh, Abner's about to take the big step into the unknown. Maybe he did it. Well, maybe. Senator Bloop. Probably. Antifa has probably forced Senator Bloop's statue to come down by this point, I should think. Because you know he wasn't woke enough. He did something. Hair-raising ghost tales. Well, look at that. Back when a vacuum cleaner was the new thing. Little Abner kissing a pig. Kissing a pig. Boom. Number 109. This one feels a little thin. I'll have to check the page count on that one. Ba-doom, ba-doom. 108. 106. These are pretty neat. I really do think they are. 105. This one's kind of browning up a little bit, unfortunately. Nancy's got an ape-like shadow. She had kind of an ape-like figure. You kind of wonder, that would be something kind of cool. I would do that if I was a comic book publisher. If I had the money, if I hit the lottery, one thing I would do would be revive Famous Funnies. But I might hire some avant-garde cartoonist to do like a teenage Nancy or an adult Nancy. Like, what was she like when she grew up? That would be fun. I think Nancy is still in the funny pages. Boom, boom. Little Abner's long gone, though, as are the Katzenjammers. Bobbing for apples. Do kids still do that these days? It's a big thing when I was a kid around Halloween, but oh my God, that's quite a short skirt there, Fritzi. Fritzi Ritz started out as a flapper. If you know what a flapper is. Rocket-powered skis here. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Dummers. Doomkopf. People who look like their dogs. 141. There's a book that predicted the whole COVID thing. All right, it's the last stack. Oh, my goodness. And I'm sorry, I don't really have a lot to say about these books other than, here they are, and that's it. Curly Ko was a boxer, 144, so it looks like they're trying to come up with something that'll pick the sales of this book back up. And I don't know how popular Curly Ku was, Ko. Ku? How would you pronounce that? Well, it's probably KO, because KO knockout. But I don't know how popular he actually was, but clearly they were searching for something to try and pick the sales back up here in the later editions. I don't particularly like these multi-panel covers myself. Boy, this book did get pretty thin. It's almost like a brochure. United Feature. Now, I only learned this just recently because all my life I've called it United Features, plural, but the name of the company is United Feature. I know that sounds like, United Feature Syndicate. Sounds like they're syndicating one single feature, but nope. Nope. Some more Nancy. Spanking monkeys. In Russia, you do not spank your monkey. Monkey spank you. All right. I told you we were going to have some fun. So, look at that. Oh, stamping those kisses right on him. 156. And then 157, the last one. Like I said, I think the Peanuts first appeared around issue 173 or so. So let's take a look in here and see what we've got. I don't know what this 1620 on the back is supposed to mean. Take me a second to get this out of the bag. And strange as it seems, Nancy. Oh, I've got to take my glasses off and look here. So this is 1949. So all of these books are kind of 30s and 40s. But here you've got Nancy. Again, these are all strip reprints. Nancy. Quite a bit of Nancy. Fritzi Ritz. More Fritzi Ritz. Some obligatory text features. So it is the Captain and the Kids. So this is the original by Rudolph Dirks. So this is them by their original creator. Assuming he was still doing it at this point, I'm not sure. Doc Psych. Don't know what Doc Psych is. Never heard of that. Lots of. Actually, these are all stamp classified ads. You got a little stamp collecting column there in the middle. That is a full page of stamp collecting classified ads. I guess stamp collecting was a big thing back in the day, huh? Does anybody even still collect stamps? Do you know any, what is it called? Numismologists? Is that it? Here's Curly K.O. K.O. Boom, boom. These pages are kind of funky here. Now, this right here, oh, it's just folded. Okay. Got a weird fold there. Boom, boom, boom. Is that still KO or did we switch over? Oh, no, that's Little Abner. Little Abner, Little Abner. I'm not getting a whole page on the screen here because I don't want to knock the flash over. We must have our priorities. Strange as it seems. That was a feature in the newspapers. All right, let's look at an earlier one. What do you want to look at here? Let's see. What was the earliest number we saw? Somewhere in the 70s or something like that. Boom, boom, boom. 138, 130, 117, 128, 67. I think that was about, 66. Boom, boom, 64. 63. I think this was about the earliest one we had there. And this one is much bigger. That's what she said, right? Chocolate shake, a frozen chocolate shake. It looks like a choxicle to me, but there you go. 15 cents in Canada, but 10 cents here in the States. Who is Sparkman? Nice advertisement for Sparkler Comics #1. Wow. Sparkler would end up, Sparkman would go away, and Sparkler would just end up being Nancy. Now, I don't think Sparkman or any of these other heroes here actually appeared, well, Tarzan did, actually appeared in the comic strips. I think Sparkman was an attempt to take advantage of the popularity of Superman and other like heroes. But Sparkler Comics would become just a Nancy. I think it was all Nancy, pretty much. So I'm looking for the indicia, and it's actually here on page 2. Usually you find it at the bottom of the first page or inside front cover, but it is here on page 2, and this is 1941. So we don't actually go quite back to the 30s. I thought we might, but we don't. We don't, but it's definitely pre-war, right? Now, here you also have, in addition to the regular strip, as in the Captain and the Kid, and these would definitely be by Rudolph Dirks. You had what they called, usually they were called toppers, but it was like a secondary strip that would, let's see if I remember this right, and if you know better, leave a comment down below. But you would have the regular comic strip, and then by that same artist, you would have some kind of secondary strip, which would take up the rest of the page and the funny pages, and some newspapers would cut that out. So this Hawkshaw the Detective might not actually appear in all papers that the Captain and the Kid did, but they were called toppers because usually they would appear like at the top of the page. These are situated at the bottom of the page, and it looks like these two are... for publication here, it looks like they are roughly the same size, but generally the main strip would take up most of the Sunday Funny page, and then that topper would be smaller, and across the top. But here they've kind of formatted them. Mirror Man. Huh. Well, that is that looks like a genuine attempt by United Feature at a superhero. Interesting. Well, let's see if he's actually in a costume or not. It doesn't seem so. Oh, there he is, in that kind of red suit. And I guess he looks more like an Electric Man than a Mirror Man, but there he is. Huh. I don't think I've ever seen Mirror Man revived. There are some outfits like the Dell Publishing superheroes that have all fallen into the public domain. There is an outfit called Indelible Comics that has, amateur art. Well, no, I shouldn't say amateur, but, people who aren't working for Marvel or DC or anywhere else regularly, for the most part. They put out books that feature those characters. And the same with the Charlton characters. There is an outfit actually located here in Maine called Neo Charlton, I believe is the name of it. And it's run by Mort Todd. And they put out books featuring Charlton's characters that lapsed into the public domain. So here's Fritzi Ritz with Phil Fumble. I think Phil is her boyfriend. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Some more Fritzi. More Fritzi. Iron Vic. So that's kind of, obviously, like kind of a Dick Tracy takeoff. Although it looks like maybe he's not a Dick Tracy takeoff. Maybe he's the sports hero used to be a genre back in the day. The boxer or baseball player or athlete who had adventures. This is Louis.Dope. Okay. All right. Louis's got quite a few pages here. This looks to me like it's something maybe original for the book, that it's not from the strips. There's some more stamping stuff. Wow. Holy wow. The Triple Terror. There's another original superhero. Wow. It just gives you some idea of like what a big deal superheroes were. And so this is 1941. So this is only, 3 years? Somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 years after Superman made his debut. And this is obviously not something that was in any of the newspapers. So what is this? Is this a guy who can split into three? Or is it three guys? I'm not sure. I don't really know. And I'm actually only seeing two guys. Where's the third one? Jim Hardy by Dick Morse. Boom, boom, boom. So we don't have any little Abner in here, it looks like. At least not so far. Maybe he's anchoring the book. We'll see. Boom, boom. A Little Merry Mix-Up. Huh. That's kind of looks like maybe a take on Orphan Annie. Tailspin Tommy. Globe-trotting Aviators was another big genre. A little more in the earlier period of the comics, the Platinum Age, in the wake of 1927 and Lindbergh's historic flight. All boys emulated the barnstorming aviators, and they were every book had an aviator strip. Here's Little Abner. Here is Little Abner. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And what are we gonna? Okay, trying to get that cover to go without bending it. Fireworks, as strange as it seems. So that's again that kind of single panel feature from newspapers, but firework ads. You could buy, not only could you buy guns through the comic books, you could buy fireworks. Or you could buy this beautiful desk for only $1. Typewriters sold separately. All right, well, that's it. That's Tip Top Comics. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had fun. But anyway, I will be setting up a Facebook page where we can talk about what goes into these videos and some different things that I'm looking to do and getting your feedback on those things. Also, the website, well, it's nothing right now. I shouldn't even mention it. I had some trouble porting it over from an old blogger site over to WordPress about a year and a half or so ago, and it's just kind of languished because I screwed it up, lost all the data, couldn't figure out the menus, and so yeah, the email exists still, Duke@Shanghalla.com. You ever want to say anything that you don't want to necessarily put in the comments below, you can reach out to me through that. Again, Duke@Shanghalla.com. But I'm going to try and get that webpage going again for some promotional purposes, as well as the Facebook page. So, look for that. Maybe here within the next day or two from when this video goes up. But until then, until we meet again, goodbye, good luck, and please... be good to each other.